Hi, I'm Adam Ray. I'm a comedian and actor from Lake Forest Park, Washington. Where? Seattle. Growing up in the Pacific Northwest in the 1990s, I loved three things: Slurpees, In Living Color, and Shawn Kemp. Basketball was and is my favorite sport, and while the world was obsessed with Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, or Vince Carter, everyone in the upper left part of the country was all about the Rain Man. To this day, I haven't seen a player like him. Fast, powerful, and played with a sense of joy and excitement that would set him apart from the rest. I recently went back home to Seattle and got a chance to sit down with Shawn for a one-on-one chat. Over 2 hours sitting across from my childhood hero, reminiscing, laughing, and talking shit. We talked about everything: growing up in Indiana, his journey to the NBA, the iconic chemistry he developed with Gary Payton, and his new business venture, a cannabis shop in downtown Seattle, where it all began. Let's get into it.
From the Seattle SuperSonics, Shawn Kemp.
I appreciate you, Shawn.
Absolutely.
Last time, people don't know that, first time we kicked it, was at the Triple Door for Kooky Michael Rappaport's podcast. And I hit him up and I was like, yo, dude. He was like, we've been talking about some comedy bullshit, and he's like, yo, I'm doing this live podcast with the Rain Man. And I was like, I'm flying up, I don't give a shit, I'm on the show. And you were so cool, because you came back and we were all talking hoops and whatnot. And then what the coolest thing was, at the Triple Door, there's a little space, almost like where the two old guys on the Muppets would sit in the Muppet Show, and you were sitting up in that room, and I looked up there, and I did a joke about not making it to the NBA because I was a fat kid, and I just saw you cracking up, and I was like, dude, anything I do after this show doesn't even matter because I got the Rain Man to laugh.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
No, Michael's always been great, man. A lot of people don't know, but we actually grew up with each other, playing each other with basketball camps and stuff. So,
no way.
Yeah, so we were, junior high, high school, I saw Michael a lot. He was actually a ball player.
Yeah.
He was actually going to go to college. He had plenty of scholarships. He could have went to college and played.
What do you think happened?
He went to Hollywood. Yeah. Well, of course, man.
I don't judge you, okay? If she could cut her own food, she's fair game.
Because he's
Why not?
deceivingly tall. He's like
absolutely.
6'5", I think.
He was a heck of a ball player too, man. New Yorker, yeah, absolutely.
Did you do a lot of camps growing up, basketball camps? Because I just found this picture of me at the C-First Jam and Hoops camp.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any of those?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Those were like Seattle bread and butter. I mean, it was just one of many ways.
Yeah, okay, so to take you back, man, that's kind of really the reason I'm still here in Seattle. So back then when we did the Jam and Hoop camps and stuff with C-First, those were introductions to me in this community, man. So here I am, I was 18 years old at the time, basically playing with a lot of older guys. So the team kind of introduced me into the community, doing different camps, different functions, and then it really went over well, man. It kind of taught me life outside of basketball. Yeah. So here you are, you're this 18-year-old kid and you're playing ball, but then all of a sudden you start to get taught these other things outside of basketball that gets your interest. And that's kind of what happened with myself, and you just started to learn about the community, learn about doing different events, learn about getting into different businesses, and it just takes off. So
were the Sonics always big on having you guys be tied to the community? Were there certain players that were doing it that kind of gave you the heads up, like, yo, once you kind of start getting your legs under you, you should probably get involved?
Well, maybe not necessarily in a direct message like that, but for myself, absolutely. Yeah. For myself, here I am, was this young guy, and then I did a lot of extra stuff because I had the time. I didn't have the time to go out at night, and couldn't hang out with the older guys, so then you find things to get into that you're going to educate yourself, you're going to learn about. So you stay active in the community, man, and then this is what happens afterwards.
Yeah. Disparity. Did Barrows get up in the air? No, he can jump, Barrows. Here's Kemp. Oh, and a big dunk! And a foul. That was a miraculous dunk. Watch this finish, Jim. This is one of the most impressive dunks I've ever seen. That
night was dope. We were sipping on some vodka crayons, as you just reminded me. And you were one thing that I remember bragging to people about, first of all, I think your words to me after were, "You're the greatest comedian I've ever seen," which I thought was like a bold statement that you made. No, you didn't say that.
You know I didn't say that, but it sounded great. That sounded great. I was just that's gonna be tough to go along with right there, but it's just great. That's but no, you were definitely funny. And the one thing around here, what I've always tried to do is when I find out that there's people around here that really deal with like Hollywood people, I always want to support. And that's the way it should. I think that's what this area of Seattle is really known for. We support each other in a lot of different ways. So when you see somebody on the upcoming and has that talent, you want to support them, man. You want to give them that extra nod.
Well, don't you think Seattle as a whole, too, I mean, it's why the music, hoops, comedy scenes, I think are so strong, is because obviously I think the weather, right? Like, I know for myself, like, playing basketball growing up, I mean, I was, you know, found myself getting better because if it was raining, it was like, all right, there's only so long you can play outside.
That's right.
And you know, we've produced some ballers that you know, I know are just chomping at the bit to come back and be a part of the Soups when they return. Do you remember playing at Green Lake?
Absolutely.
When did Green Lake outdoor games become something that you knew of? And was it discouraged from like the organization being like, hey, we can't be getting you getting hurt because you're trying to dunk on some white guy that's talking shit?
No, absolutely. I mean, the thing about it, man, I got introduced to the streets of Seattle really soon. Actually, my rookie season in Seattle, I was unhappy with my minutes I was getting on the court. So what I would do is just come downtown, like a few blocks from the store right now. I go downtown after the games and start playing pickup games after the game. So I would go from like 10 to midnight. I'd come downtown and put on like a dunk show for people that was just walking down the street or whatever. So the team had a problem with that a little bit. But it also sent a good message to them that how hungry I was and how much I wanted to be good. As they asked me to calm down some of my antics outside of the games and stuff, you know, I listened, but also they gave me more playing time. So it was like a give and take situation.
Please tell me you practiced the Lister point on the courts of Green Lake.
Never.
No, that was in the moment.
In the moment, man. Again, just in the moment, Alton's a great guy.
How well do you guys know each other as players? Because, you know, I think, and I've heard you talk about this too, like there is a competitiveness that I think 90s basketball definitely possessed versus now with a little more, I mean, you just see it in the brawls or the way that you guys would bump with each other. And there was a respect, but it wasn't, people weren't chirping as much about ticky-tacky fouls or contact. So.
Well, the difference is this, is that back in the 90s, it was definitely more of a physical style of basketball play, but also it wasn't as social. So you didn't have Facebook, you didn't have Twitter. So a lot of these guys who play ball these days, a lot of people who are very successful these days become friends on social media. It's such a social world. Nowadays, even when you watch news or anything, one of the first things they say, oh, this person, first thing they did was mention something off Twitter or off Facebook. So that lets you know how powerful social media is. But for myself, I always thought it was a strength of mine not to really be friends with the opponents. I mean, that's just something, if someone really doesn't know you, then they don't really understand you. If they don't understand you, then it takes them that much longer on the court to really fill you out as a player. So I think your best strength is to be able to stay to yourself and not to let somebody know, and then they have to figure you out once the game starts. But these days, it's so social. You know, guys can't really help it. I mean, you would be an outcast if you wasn't as social as some of these guys, but it definitely shows in their ball play. You see guys out there shaking hands, smiling with each other, and it's totally different than what it was in the 90s.
I mean, if there was social media when you played, I mean, you could have been talking shit. You could have been tweeting like, hey, at Larry Bird, you French lick cocksucker. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
also, the memes that would have popped out of the Lister point. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that too, but like, I mean, you pick your battles, man. You know, I learned you just said Larry Bird. It's like, I learned my very first lesson to Larry Bird. Larry Bird gave me, what did he give me, 45 3/4.
The first game?
First time I played against him. For some reason, X-Man got this injury right before the game. And then you know, he had a knee injury right before the game.
Yeah, for sure.
So here I am have to face Larry Bird, and I'm from Indiana. Larry's from Indiana. I broke a lot of his records in high school.
Did you really?
And he let me know about it the whole entire game. Absolutely.
Do you get hyped up for that, knowing you're going to guard Larry? Or
Absolutely. You get hyped, yeah, because you know you're gonna get served. So of course I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get out here, I'm gonna take this lesson and go back home and write my notes down.
Did he ever, after that game, like as your career progressed, like did he ever reach out and be like, God damn, man, you have turned into quite the star?
No, I mean, he gave me like 45 or 48 in those 3 quarters. After the game, he actually reached out to me and told me I could come down and work out with him in the summertime.
Wow.
It meant so much to me, man.
All around, so it's not going to be an easy night for Boston's offense if they play half court.
Bird again, he's 2 for 2.
Well, all right.
You know, I just really kind of opened up and told people this a few weeks ago on Larry Bird's birthday. He just had a birthday about a month ago, and I kind of told people in Boston this story. Yeah, man, he reached out to me my rookie season, invited me to come work out with him that summer a little bit, and it meant everything to me because then, here for so many years, I've been watching Larry Bird on TV, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Yeah. And then you make it to the NBA as a youngster, you look for something that's going to give you the fire, the drive to continually going. So after meeting Larry and then him saying, yo, I think you got some talent, I'd like to work with you a little bit. Of course, man, that meant everything to me. So absolutely, man. I learned a lot from Larry.
Who were your guys growing up in, what part of Indiana again?
I'm from Elkhart, which is about an hour and a half outside of Chicago.
Okay. Was basketball always, I know your sister was a baller.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you've talked at great length about like, I think, and I don't want to misquote, but I think you said at one point you guys would play all the time, pickup, and then you got to a point to when you could beat her, and that's when you knew you were legit. Yeah,
absolutely. Man, and this is God's honest truth. You know, people, when they say they grow up and you get over this monument, my biggest monument was really to get past my sister growing up. And after I got past my sister growing up, I really feared nobody. So, and what I mean by this is, and I'll tell you the story real quick. Yeah. So here I am, I'm a freshman, I'm 6'7". I finally beat my sister in a game of basketball. 2 weeks later, we had this guy from the Indiana Pacers come to our team. I'm not gonna say his name, I won't embarrass him. He come to our school for a talk, for a speech. He's speaking to all the students. Well, the kids dared me to go up to play him one-on-one on the court. So they blocked the court off, and me and this NBA player, I was a freshman in high school, he was playing for the Indiana Pacers at the time. I actually beat him 10-1 and dunked on him twice. So after that point as a freshman, in my area, it was just, my name kind of changed from Shawn Kemp to just like straight NBA. Like you're going to the, at some point you're gonna go straight to the.
Because word travels about that.
Word travels,
yeah.
Because if you embarrass an NBA player like that, beating him 10-1, then you're gonna go to the NBA. It's just a matter of time.
Do you remember in that game, like, was he just being real nice to you, or was he talking shit, or did you completely catch him by surprise? Was there a moment like the first dunk where he was like, hey man, maybe we just played a 3?
Yeah, the first dunk got his attention, and actually, to let you know, this guy was 7'1".
Holy shit. Dunk on a 7-footer.
He was 7'1" at the time. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it together who it was.
But when you go through that and you see that, then it just gives you a ton of confidence. Yeah. So I was a very confident kid growing up.
You said 6'1" at freshman year. I remember my doctor told me, I think when I was in the 6th grade, when I was 5'7", and I was like tall for my class, like 5'7", that's a tall 6th grader. It was me and there was a girl named Jennifer Powers who was like 6'8", out of fucking nowhere. There's always like one freakishly tall kid. That,
oh, absolutely. I went to school with a kid that was a little bit bigger than me, man. Like I said, I was about 6'1" when I got to high school. By the time I was a sophomore, I was 6'5", 6'6".
Damn.
So, and it happens. Like same thing with my son. My son Jamon, he's a freshman in college right now. He went to high school. His freshman year, he was 6'1", 6'2". Now he stands at 6'8".
Just hit that Kemp growth spurt.
So he just hit that spurt, man, and just kept going.
Was basketball in your, was it a part of what was happening? No, okay.
Not at all, not at all. I mean, the reason I became good at basketball because there was no pressure. That's how you become good at something, because there's no pressure put on you. A lot of times when parents force their kids to do something, the kids may play it and they may even love doing it, but they don't have that drive. They don't have that true passion because they've been forced to do it.
Right.
So, you know, even with my kids, I never forced them to play ball. It was up to them if they chose to play ball or not. The ones that really took it serious, then I could go with them and train them real serious. but it was up to them to make that decision.
How can you tell if it is becoming a priority for them versus just like a hobby, you know?
Because it becomes everything in their life. That means that when you get up in the morning, they're doing push-ups. They're lifting weights early, you know, 5, 6 in the morning. And then when they go to bed at midnight, they're doing push-ups, lifting weights, or jumping or something. So you kind of see it, you see it, you feel it, you feel how serious they're taking it. And it's similar to myself. I mean, like I said, once you get that taste of greatness, then all of a sudden it's like, you want to do this every day, all day.
Probably talking your ear off too, certain basketball things. Like I remember my mom, when she could tell that I was serious, is when I was like quoting, like I was like, Mom, it's just like Michael Cage always says. And she's like, God damn, you got like some deep cuts on it. And I was like, well, I'm a basketball fan, you know?
No, absolutely, man, yeah.
Is there something about Indiana also that's similar to Seattle where, I don't know if it's a weather thing, but like Larry being from there too, is basketball like, are there a lot of people playing it out there because of whatever reason, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Indiana is like the mecca of basketball. Like if you wish to go throughout the United States and say, I'm going to take a basketball player, Indiana would probably be one of the first places that you would probably go look. Not because guys are so good and strong, because guys could probably do a little bit of everything. What I mean by that, just fundamentally sound. Guys that can do run, jump, shoot, do a little bit of everything really good.
Yeah.
Maybe not way over the top as some guys can, but they can do a little bit of everything. I grew up in Elkhart, Indiana, but I played for an AAU team in Los Angeles as a kid.
Oh shit.
So
for people that don't know AAU.
So I was traveling to Los Angeles every weekend as a kid. So I actually played for Fairfax AAU community.
Oh shit! I live right down the street.
Oh, shit. So absolutely. So I ended up playing with a lot of guys in California, like Don McClain was on my team.
Wow. I think I still got a Don McClain Fleer Ultra card.
Absolutely.
Gotta get him to sign that.
So a lot of those guys became like my buddies, man, because we all grew up playing. Chris Mills, a lot of those guys.
Oh yeah.
We all grew up playing on the same AAU team out in Los Angeles, even though I was from Indiana.
So that's a big deal. So your skill set gets noticed, and word travels, right? And so people, they invite you then to be on these teams.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate as a youngster, man, to get invited like out to California and play for some teams. From there, I was able to be seen by Nike. You know, as a kid, I was able to be seen by Nike, and from there, then it really skyrocketed. I call him the Godfather, but his name is Sonny Vaccaro. You know, Sonny Vaccaro spotted me playing in elementary school. He was the CEO of Nike.
Holy shit.
So
he saw you playing in elementary school and was like, "This, oh my God." What were you doing in 6th grade on the court that caught his attention?
Well, in 6th grade on the court, I was actually, when I was in 6th grade, I was actually playing in the 9th grade league.
What the fuck?
So that's what got the attention of like Sonny Vaccaro, Nike. Sonny was a great dude, man. He's helped all great basketball players out, seriously. Like without Sonny, it wouldn't have been no Shawn Kemp, because he was able to broaden my vision to the world. You understand? So I'll tell you a quick story.
Please.
So in seventh grade, I went out to Los Angeles to play basketball, and Sonny gonna kill me when I say, but he gave me a ride. Sonny gave me a ride to the gym. I reached in his back seat, and he had this envelope. So I always used to go through his envelopes as well, just to see what Nike, see all their products, their shoes and everything. So I saw this design of this wing. It was like a shoe, a wing, but it was just a sketch. And I was just like, man, but anyways, 2 years later, that became the Air Jordan symbol.
Holy shit, you saw the first origins of that.
So I saw the first origins of it, like
crazy.
Way back in the day.
Did he tell you to like keep, did he know that you saw it?
No.
Yeah.
He didn't know that I really saw it at that time, but it also, at that time, it kind of let me know how powerful Sonny was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then like now Sonny's, he's been able to come out, Sonny's responsible for guys like Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
Guys like, you know, so, I'm one of the few players that he helped, but probably one of the original ones.
Did your sister, when you guys would play one-on-one, what was it about her game that pushed you, and how often would you guys play?
She was just a very good athlete. She could do a lot of different things, very fast. She was a track runner.
Oh, shit.
Really a track runner. So she was very strong, very agile, very athletic. And she always had the nod on me, which was a mental nod. It wasn't that she was so much better. I mean, she was my sister. So when, like, it's your older sister, your older brother, it's not that they're that much better. They just got that mentally nod over you, that confidence. Dude. So regardless of what we were doing, she could always beat me because she made me think about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, my sister once, when she was taller than me and stronger than me, threw a high heel shoe at my back. I claimed I was paralyzed. Then she locked me in the garage.
I know all about that.
Oh, 2 years later, when I was like bigger and stronger than her, it was like a shift. And your folks did what growing up?
My mom worked at the hospital, man. She was a X-ray technician.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, single mom, man.
Me too.
Yeah, my mom. Single mom, man. I was raised by my mom and her sister. So you know, I always felt that I had the knowledge because I was raised by women. A lot of guys look at it like, I was raised by women, so I always thought I had the knowledge to be able to do something with myself.
Yeah, right. Did she push the hoops too? Was she a big advocate and supporter?
Not at all. Not at all, man. Not at all. Like, and that's what I think that's where you would become great at something in this world. It's because you don't have the pressure of being great. My mom wasn't an athlete herself, so she didn't really put pressure on me. But the one thing she always told me was this, man, just make sure you do the best you can do. That's the only thing I really needed to hear from her. The passion really came from me, so she never forced me to go to the gym. I always wanted to go to the gym.
Wow.
For one, it kept me from washing dishes and stuff like that around the house, but also it just kept me active and out of trouble. So I always just had that passion of wanting to do something with myself. I didn't know if the NBA was gonna be in grabs for me.
You don't know, huh?
You really don't know, but you hope. You hope. You hope. And then also, man, you even if you do think so, you don't want to tell yourself. So until they call your name and tell you that you're part of the NBA, it's tough for you to admit that you're going to be in the NBA. Even though I think I had the confidence, but I think it's tough for you to admit that until you really reach those goals.
I love that sentiment about being busy to kind of stay distracted.
Absolutely.
My elementary school, Lake Forest Park Elementary, shout out, asked me when I was a senior in high school to come speak at the DARE graduation, right?
Right.
And this was by the way, I'm coming off the first weekend I got really high, where I'm telling people to call the hospital because I can't feel my legs high. And I'm literally, that was on that Saturday, and on that Monday, I'm standing in front of all these sixth graders being like, hey man, weed ain't that crazy. You know, no, I didn't say that, but the whole point I kept preaching was, drugs were never really an option in growing up because I was so busy.
Absolutely.
And you kind of innately discover from being busy and seeing the people that, maybe not less busy, but just that partake in those things, what it strips away from the goal, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, you know, growing up, you want to be successful. And a number of us, we line up a lot of different things. We try different things where we think we're going to be successful. Yeah. And generally, growing up, most kids think that they're smarter than what they really are. Right. And they think they know more than what they really are. Right? So, you know, the only thing I can say, man, is this. I think growing up, man, I was so fortunate because I was able to listen to people. By me always listening to people, it always gave me some extra ideas what to do with myself. Yeah. By me not shutting people off, really was really a gold mine for myself because it gave me the opportunity to learn from some people and from some of their mistakes. Yeah. So sometimes when some people had fucked up in life, I was able to look at that and be like, no, I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna do this. Right. And then, I mean, and obviously you fuck up yourself in your own life doing certain things. It's part of being a person. That's just part of it, though.
To Payton, ahead to Hawkins, has a step on Mutombo. Kemp trailing. He will take it on the mountain and ram it down.
Did you have any jobs in high school or?
No. No? No, man. My first job was in the NBA. That's how serious I took it. I was one that went to school. Like I said, I grew up around some good people who cared for me. So if school started at 8 o'clock, I was going to school at 6 o'clock to work out with my high school coaches every day.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
What did that workout consist of?
Oh man, a lot of footwork.
Yeah.
A lot of footwork, because this is what happens, man. In order for you to go from high school to the pros, that means that you have to be able to go to every last college around the country and outdo these guys on their footwork drills, their technique, and everything. So my high school coach was smart enough to put this in my head and have me work on these little bit of these intangible things for I could always be prepared. So when I saw the vision of going against somebody really big, I could explore the opportunity and really do well.
Holy shit. Wait, so did you know you wanted to go from high school?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My first NBA team that came and watched me play I was a freshman.
And so, so that kind of set you off being like, all right, I might not have to hit college.
I didn't want to go to, I never wanted to go to college. My mom made me go to college. Okay. It wasn't something that I wanted. It wasn't that I couldn't go to college, but my vision was to get into the NBA.
Yeah.
I only went to college for 1 year because my mom made me. She said I needed to mature a little bit. She was like, you gotta go to college. You don't even know how to wash your clothes. You gotta take your ass to college and learn some of these little things before you go to the NBA.
That's so exactly what my mom said too. But she was washing my basketball jerseys up until senior year, and then I was like, I didn't have the same thing of skipping to go to the NBA, but there was a part of me being like, oh, maybe I'll skip college and just move to New York and try to get on SNL and just do the comedy scene there. But there is something about college, even in a year, right, that you just you grow up a little bit.
It is, no doubt, man. Well, first of all, I'll tell people this. The reason that I probably blew up so big and so fast, that year from high school, that 1 year after high school, I didn't have basketball. And like I told you, I grew up, I was traveling from Indiana to Hollywood playing on the weekends.
Oh my God.
So obviously that gives a kid a lot of confidence. So now all of a sudden you take a kid and he has no basketball. It really brings you down to a level where you have to have a full understanding of yourself, because then you got to say, I'm just as normal as anybody else, and I got to do all these things right to get back up to this level. So me not having basketball for 1 year, man, kind of made me, man. It was just like, man, I had to learn how to do a lot of little things, but I think at the end it made me who I am.
When you decided to enter the draft,
how
big and tumultuous of a decision was that, or was it kind of like you woke up one morning and you were like, fuck it, let's do it?
Man, I have been, like I said, the only reason I was in college is because of my mom.
Yeah.
This is the God's honest truth. Yeah. Because I was so young at the time, the NBA was saying to me that your mom has to sign this paperwork in order for you to get into the NBA.
Holy
because I was a minor.
Shit.
So my mom was like, no, you're not ready yet. Go to college. So I
Mom had to sign a permission slip for you to join. Like you're going on a field trip to the aquarium.
So basically, yeah, man, during my freshman year, my freshman year, I started at Kentucky, I ended up at Trinity Valley. So at Trinity Valley, I'm watching the All-Star game. I'm sitting in the student lounge watching the NBA All-Star game. And I'm watching these guys play. It's Kareem, it's Magic, it's all these great players that are playing, Larry Bird. And I look on the court and I said to myself, it's only two guys out there that can outplay me. And then I look in the mirror and I was like, I'm at Trinity Valley Community College. and then I said to myself then, I was just like, man, this is it. I'm about to go pro.
Simmons on the post up, the entry pass deflected, it's a loose. Grabbed by Gill, nearly knocked down, centers it to Gary. Up ahead, lead pass to Kemp. He will go to get it with a right, back it in the left, and bring it down with two hands.
I basically, I went in and I talked to my college coach. And I told him, I said, look, as I told you before, the reason I'm not playing is because I had a feeling I was about to go hardship. He says, Shawn, he goes, can you just stay for 1 year?
And
then I was like, no, coach, I can't stay for 1 year, but I can help you get any recruit that you want. And at the time, Trinity Valley, we only had one guy that we wanted to recruit really bad, and that was Nick Van Exel.
What a great basketball name, by the way.
Nick Van Exel. So me and Coach, we went and recruited Nick Van Exel in 2 days, and Nick signed with the university.
Holy shit.
And by the time that Nick got to Trinity, the week later, I told him, I said, Nick, I'm not gonna be here. I'm actually going hardship. And so that was that. And Nick stayed there and played 1 year, then he went to the University of Cincinnati, on to the Lakers. I went from Trinity Valley straight to Hollywood.
That's what I'm saying, and this is what I wanted to get to. And who'd you start working out with?
Magic. My agent that I signed with was Magic's agent.
Wow, dude.
So at the time, the Lakers are they're getting ready for the Detroit Pistons in the championship.
Yeah.
This is the spring. So Magic let me tag along with him a few times, man, to practice. So when I get to the first practice, when I get a chance to practice with the Lakers, you know what I mean, they got Sam Perkins on the team.
Come on, Big Smooth. Pre-fro, right?
So yeah, man, it was kind of cool, man. And I didn't know any of those guys, but I got a chance to know them really well. They were getting ready for the playoffs, but they let me get a little run in, a little practice in with them, boosted my confidence up a little bit.
1,000%. That's all that does, right?
Absolutely, man.
And how quickly did they look at you going like, holy shit, this guy, we're gonna be seeing this guy in a couple
the
years.
Lakers were really, really smart, man, and I can tell you how the old NBA used to work. So the Lakers were basically like this. We really like you, man, and we want you to be a member of the team, but we want to hide you. So we don't want nobody to know that you're really coming out. So they kind of hit me for a few months on the side, but then the Lakers ended up winning the championship.
Oh, man.
So during this time that they're winning the championship, I'm saying to myself, man, I'm only 18. They're probably not going to want an 18-year-old kid on the team.
Yeah, what are you going to do? And
I mean,
also, would you want to be there,
they're probably
right?
going to send me overseas.
Oh, wow.
You understand? So I used to go to UCLA and work out every day. I was walking out the gym, and this little white guy comes up to me. Little white dude, man. And I don't know how he got in the gym. He snuck in there somehow, and he was just like...
Little white dudes are crafty.
He was like this. He says one thing to me, man. He goes, well, would you like to take a visit? My dad owns the Seattle SuperSonics. Would you like to take a visit? And then I was like, man, we're in LA. We ain't got no time to go all the way out to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, he's like, we got Dick's Hamburgers.
He goes, no, it's right up the West Coast. It's right up here.
Oh, you got all the way in the East Coast.
Man, so basically, man, me and him, we took a private plane up here to Seattle.
All right, so that probably spoke some volumes, right?
Yeah, and then, everything else was in history, man.
Gill over to Perkins for the three. No, down low. Kemp reversing traffic. Spun by two defenders and jammed it down with two hands. Oh, goodness.
And who was this kid? Can you say or no?
Yeah, he works right down the street right now. It's the Barry Ackley's son.
Dope. So wow, Ackley sent his kid
Ackley's son is going to UCLA at the time for graduate school.
Huge.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Snuck in the gym and saw us scrimmaging. Didn't know who I was, because the Lakers were hiding me.
Yeah.
So afterwards, he waited for me, and then he said, like, who are you? Like, what's going on? And I was like, nah, I'm just 18, but I'm here working out with all these NBA players, just trying to learn the game and stuff. And then he was like, well, my dad's the owner of the NBA team. Why don't you come in for a visit? Did
you think he was full of shit? Were you like, hey, man, like, we're in LA, everyone's dad owns something.
A little bit at first, but I knew he was pretty serious because he... You
got on that private jet.
He was like, he called me that night, was like, look, we're going to take a private jet. So he was like, would you like to come up to Seattle and play in a Pro-Am game in front of the coaching staff? And I was like, sure, let's do it. So I jumped on a plane. I came up. They took me down to Seattle University. I played in a Pro-Am game. I think I hit them up for like 45 in the first half. Oof. They didn't even let me play in the second half.
What was your game in the first half? Just
man, just a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to show them what I could do. So, the coaches like me, and
I was always curious in a game like that where you want to put on a show,
right,
but show all the facets of your game. It's like when they broadcast LeBron's last high school game.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this guy's. I mean, I feel like he gave us a little bit of everything.
Academic reasons of competition stolen by Brandon Weems. He's the truth.
The pass, the dunk, the shot.
All right, so like what you just said with like LeBron, okay, well, listen to this. Now with LeBron, they showcased his first high school game. Well, I was the first one that they ever played, high school game that they ever played on ESPN.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, and not only that, I'll take you back for a minute. When I played in high school, I played in front of the largest crowd in the history of high school sports.
What?
So we played actually in Indianapolis at the Hoosier Dome.
Holy shit.
Where back in the day, it was.
Is that 100,000?
There you go.
What is that like versus, I don't know, 15,000 at the Key Arena?
Man, you just don't want to lose, and then we end up getting our asses beat by 30. Because I was from a little country school, and we ended up playing these brothers from Gary and from Muncie Central. And man, it was just like, these guys, they tore our asses up, man. I mean, I had a great game, but we still lost. It didn't matter, man. Yeah, so, but it was a good learning experience. It's like, you get on that big stage and get your ass beat on ESPN, it make you feel real at home.
You think that's on YouTube somewhere?
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
Everything's on YouTube.
Definitely, because if someone just sent me a picture of how big the crowd was that night.
Oh shit. That's amazing. Wait, okay, so when you get to Seattle, and you thought it was East Coast DC, because you said Washington, which, by the way, I would get those confused a lot growing up too, just about like, when people would say Washington, and it was like, which one do you mean? When you got here, first impressions just of the whole, not even the organization, but just Washington State.
Well, I was sold on the city of Seattle, first of all, from the water. I love water. So when you fly in and you see so much water, it amazed me as a kid. It just simply amazed me. And I had been around and flown a few different places, so I've seen a lot. But I think more than anything, it was just the people once I got here. So, you know, moving here, coming here, visiting the team when I did, it was like a perfect fit, man. I knew this, and I'm telling you this before they even drafted me. So when I got here to the city, just walking around the city, I felt at home. I said I'd been to a number of different places before, but this place, for some reason, I felt at home. So I kind of had a feeling this was going to be it. So when I got drafted that night, and I went back to Indiana, I actually had took all Seattle Sonic gear home. Had no idea that I was going to get drafted by Seattle, but it was only one gear that I took home to my family, and that was the Sonics gear.
Wow.
So I ended up getting drafted by Seattle, and yeah, I mean, like I said, man, it just, after that, it was just like a match made in heaven.
You knew you were going to get drafted by the Sonics, or no? Did they?
I was wanting to get drafted by the Sonics. I had a chance to get drafted by the Chicago Bulls. I live an hour outside the Chicago Bulls.
Come on.
The Bulls passed me up on 2 picks. They passed me up on Stacey King. Then they passed me up on B.J. Armstrong. I was picked after B.J. Armstrong. So.
They needed a point guard, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I don't know. How do you pass up, though?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Did you take offense to that?
Well, you have to also remember this. The only team that I wouldn't play for was the Sonics. I never played for any of those other teams. So I never auditioned for the Bulls, so they never got a chance to see me play.
Oh, shit.
So the only one that I auditioned for was the Sonics because this is where I wanted to come.
Wow.
So the only 2 pro teams that ever saw me really audition was the Lakers beforehand and the Sonics.
So you truly controlled your own destiny.
So nowadays they have these pre-draft camps that you go to.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you had to actually go to these teams and audition with these people to be looked at. Was
there something appealing about, like you said, the Lakers were just coming off a championship. Seattle was, you know, well removed from their last one and had a good team, but was there more of an opportunity for you to like insert yourself?
No, it was harder.
Oh shit.
I wanted to come to Seattle because they had some good ass players here. They had X-Man. He was a beast.
People forget
how good
dope he was, man.
X-Man was the man.
Right?
X-Man made Shawn Kemp. If it wasn't for X-Man, there wouldn't be no Shawn Kemp because he actually was kicking my ass every day, literally beat me up. Literally beat me up because no grown man wants his job taken away from a kid. So at this time in the world back in the 90s, if you're 18 and you're gonna take a guy that's 30 years old or 35 years old job, you're gonna get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
So that's what X-Men was doing to me on a daily basis, stitching me up, beating my ass, but he taught me valuable lessons, man. It didn't take me very long till those things kind of changed back around where I was able to reverse it on him. But yeah, absolutely, man, he gave me, man, a great introduction to being a grown man in professional sports. And was the organization itself, I mean, obviously you said you felt welcome enough to pick Seattle, but was the team
did you get a sense like pretty early on, like, oh, we got some fun pieces to work with? Like, what's your mindset as a young kid being like, I just need to get better for me? Or could you see?
Man, I'm gonna tell you my mindset.
Please.
First day of practice, like, you know, you go through these glory time and then they say, hey, you're 18, you get drafted. The first day of practice, they pass out these bags and all the guys get dressed in the locker room, then they have this depth chart. Well, I looked at the depth chart and it was like 16 guys trying out for the team. They only keep 12. Shit, I was number 14 on the depth chart. The other 2 guys below me was hurt. So when I looked at the list, I was like, man, I'm the last man. I'm the last man. So then it finally hits you. It's like, man, it's like you worked your butt off so many years, so much time just to get here. And then you realize once you got here, you got to start all over.
Holy shit.
You have to start all over from the bottom floor. So it's like, man, it's really frustrating, man. So it's, and also, I'll explain this to you. This is why those guys go to those top college programs, because they get great job placements. And you realize all of a sudden you say, hey, now I see why this guy at North Carolina is at number 4.
Yeah.
And I'm at number 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the difference. So you got to work your way up that ladder.
So did you have another kind of look in the mirror type, you know, size yourself up, like, let's go?
Yeah, I mean, not only did I have a look in the mirror, man, then once the practices start, you have that look at yourself and that talk to yourself where you say, oh my God, then you say, fuck, I should have stayed in school. This is harder than what I thought. Like,
wow.
You know,
it's natural to have those pieces of doubt creep in, right?
And I can only imagine for some of these other guys that went from high school to pro, what they had to go through. For myself, I doubted myself for quite some time, man. You know, and people say, how long did you doubt yourself? I said, for at least 2 days. I did. It took me like 2 days, and then after 2 days, man, it was just like, you know what, man? Like I gotta really go in here and put this down, and then it's a part of your manhood, man. You realize he's like, hey man, I'm playing with these guys that are 30, 35. These guys are cracking me, like, you know, I've been stitched up every day I've been to practice. I've had 2 days of practice, which is 4 practices. I've been stitched up 4 practices. So it's like, look, I gotta get a little toughness. When you go from high school to pro, there's something inside of you that tells you that you can't give up, no matter what it is. Like, it's your worst case scenario. You just can't give up. Yeah. Because going back, you can't go back to college. You gave up your eligibility. Of course you could go back and go to school, but you're trying to do something with yourself. So you have to do something that's so out there to make yourself better. And that's just basically going to the gym every day, all day, man. So I end up going to the gym, man, all morning, all day, all night. I end up putting a damn bed or couch or, you know,
at the facility?
At the facility, at the gym, just to keep working on my game.
And did the coaches and the staff kind of, did you have to go to them and be like, hey, I'm 14 on the depth chart. I'm trying to get to way higher. Can you put together a program for me, or is it all on you?
It's all on me. And I don't really want to say anything to them because I don't want them to know that I'm having those weaknesses and those thoughts. So I have to pretty much shut up.
Let your play speak.
And let my play speak. And it's just hard work, man. It's just a grind. And I didn't realize that my work had just started when I got to the NBA, that I had to start all over and really, really grind. And then it just, yeah, man, it just was a lot of work. And
because I mean, dude, and it's been said countless times by legends, non-legends, just people like myself, like freak athlete. Like you're coming into the league, I mean, in insane shape.
Right.
Also, like to be a big man like that, getting up and down the floor, I feel like we had never, and still, and I'm gonna go on record saying it, seeing somebody like you with that size and power getting up and down the court.
You know, man, you're at the age where you, like I said, you're so confident of yourself, then all of a sudden you realize that maybe you're too confident.
Right.
You know, so of course when you think you're too confident, something you start to second guess yourself. So it was a lot of things that goes through your head, man, and then you're saying to yourself, these guys are literally beating the shit out of me. I mean, literally like they're wearing you down a little bit physically because they're so much stronger than you are. So it's like, what do you do in those situations, man? You have to find something that you do that can give you the edge.
Yeah.
Everything that you do in life really comes from the edge of you saying, I'm gonna do this extra. So when I started like putting on ankle weights, weight vests, going out running stairs all night long.
Shit.
So it was like, I was looking for something to give me the edge with these guys. And it was a good thing I did because it really helped me with my legs, first of all, but also it just helped me with my confidence, man. So, I realized that it wasn't just about fighting. It was about, these guys were really good, man. They've been practicing a lot of years.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
if you're battling with guys like X-Men, Michael Cage, like these guys are fucking you up, right?
Yeah, man, and you got to make that, what they learned in those 3-4 years of college, I mean, you just got a couple of months to kind of get all that stuff in, and it's tough, man, but you can do it. It's definitely possible.
When did that patented baseline spin move become a part of your game? Because, dude, that was something that, the way that people try to implement the Jordan dunk or whatever, or the tongue thing, every time I had the ball in the post, would try to spin like you did.
Well, they set up for another shitty children's inbounds play. It falls apart, of course. Dane Stevenson got it. He's a butthole doctor now. Gives it to Ray. Baseline fadeaway. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna tell you how powerful that move was, man. As me watching the NBA and what was going on, I was looking for something that I could do that these guys couldn't do. That baseline spin move was so effective that they changed the rules of the game. They changed it. They stopped me from doing that. After I had scored about 20,000 points in the NBA, they came to me one day and was like, look, you can't do the baseline spin move anymore. Everybody's complaining about that move, and now if you do, that's the travel. So now you got to put the ball on the floor before you spin. And I was like, yo, that's illegal. You can't do that. But it also gave me the confidence that now I got him. Now I got him. If I can do it, so now, if the league
collectively says, hey man, we can't stop this.
Right. So and that's what you do as a professional, man. You look for ways that you can build your confidence off. So I'm just like, no, this is okay. If they're gonna stop me. Shit, Michael Jordan's waving his tongue, traveling. They give him 4 steps every time he goes to the basket. But all of a sudden, I can't go baseline spin dunk. Okay.
Dude, you were abusing people
absolutely,
with that.
Absolutely.
D-Rob, Elijah, everybody.
Yes.
Was there one you remember doing where you just, I mean, obviously, famously, the one over Rodman in the finals, right?
Oh, that's the tea bag?
Yeah.
Bulls in the midst of their second run. Kemp with the reverse and lands on Rodman and is enjoying it.
Now, did you know when you pulled up on that rim?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Were you like,
I've been waiting to teabag his ass for a couple games now.
For a couple games?
Without a doubt, man. And I only teabagged him because he was getting into it with my boy Frank Bukowski, man. And it was just like I had to do, Frank was getting so frustrated, Dennis was blowing kisses at him, like, grabbing his butt. Dennis would do anything to get in your head. Stuff like that don't bother me. But, some guys like...
I get pissed off if he doesn't grab my butt.
Yeah, Frank was like, he just couldn't take it. So I had to do something to Dennis to let him know, even though they were going to win the series, I had to do something that was going to embarrass him a little bit. Man.
That was iconic.
Yeah,
I mean, you got
absolutely.
the poster up in the store here.
So yeah, and then and trust me, he let me know when I done that to him. He's like, oh, you fucker, you got me good.
Dude, I was in, I think, 7th grade, dude, and that was the talk of the day. We were just like, dude, I mean, everyone was, we had some young kids that were like trying to rap about like Rodman, like tasting Kemp's nuts. I mean, it was like, that was a big deal up here. So the squad is pretty, just not set in stone yet when you got there, right? So it's like, you have Ricky Pierce, you had some good pieces, right?
They did, man. They had like Derek McKee. They had so many guys in front of me, Olden Polynese. These guys are very, very good players, man. And when I go on record and I'll say this, I'm 18 years.
First of all, the Lister one with the point. Did you guys have any beef leading up to that? Is that where the point came from? Because that was, it was, first of all, the series was like, it felt like it was just competitive from top to bottom.
Yeah, it was a great series. They basically, we were playing Golden State back in the early 90s. When we went to Golden State and played at their Coliseum, they also played at the Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah.
Their fans was roughing us a little bit up, and we were an exciting team, so they were really trying to be physical with us. So they bring a guy in like Alton, listen, just that he got 5-6 fouls. That was his job. Use your 5-6 fouls in 5 minutes. So that's what he used to do. He'd come in and he'd hammer you. And this is back when the NBA was going, no blood, no autopsy.
Yeah.
No blood, you're not bleeding, you let you play. So that's just how it was, man. So when I kept telling those guys, hey, they pushing me. And so I was like, look here, we're going to see you back in Seattle. I got something special waiting for you in Seattle.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah, I got something. They kept saying, what you got? And I was like, I got something special waiting for y'all whole team when y'all get back to our Coliseum. And that's what it was, man. The dunk is such a tremendous weapon that you can use on the court. It not only can just take over a team's confidence, but it also can take over the arena.
Yeah.
It also can change the judgment on calls. It can change the outcome of anything because the dunk can be so powerful, especially when it's done right, that people will almost forget about the game and just start worrying about the dunk.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it was in that series. It was just like, look, I'm gonna do a few of these dunks and just discourage these guys from the top to the bottom.
Where does it come? Because it was like, first of all, I love that they didn't tee you up.
I wanted to smack him, but because he had been fouling me so hard, but I just thought the best way to do it was to put him on a nice big See First poster. So that's when I went down with, with the point. What? And that point was just to let him know, man, Iliza used to play for the Sonics. He played for the Sonics 2 years before that.
Wow, really?
He played for the Sonics 2 years before that. And Art should know better, man. Even though I didn't play with him, he should know how they get down up here in Seattle. We don't necessarily play fair in the middle of the game, man.
We should send a thank you note to that cameraman, because that was like, he caught because you did it, then you like squatted to the ground, did the point, and then hopped back up, but also then he panned over and caught his face being like, oh, fuck, like, he just got knocked to the ground.
If you would try something like that today, they would probably suspend you.
They'd tee you up.
No, they would tee you up and kick you out the game. No doubt about it, man. So, I often say that I was able to play the game with a big smile on my face. I think that's what made us guys back then so special. We was doing this with a smile on our face. Nowadays, you see guys playing there mean mugging each other, almost kind of fraudulent looks on their face like they're tough, but they're really not that tough. And I just think that, like, anytime that you entertain people, it's best to entertain people with a smile on your face, because that's how you do it.
Dude, I've heard you say that so much, and that's such a crazy idea that you feel like should have to be repeated, because it's why any of us started playing in the first place.
Absolutely.
Because it was fun, because you just couldn't stop smiling at the things that you got to do, or even just trying to get better at.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a game of enjoyment. You got people that's coming here to watch these games. Our job is to put on a good display, but our job is also to entertain in the most positive direction.
That's what I feel like gets missed, right? It's maybe just out there to get yours, or and obviously to win, but yeah, man, it's entertainment.
It's got to be entertainment. These people have to be entertained. That's how you become popular in NBA. That's how people get to know you, because you have a good personality, but also because you can entertain people. Give them something where it's worth for them to come back and see. So whether it be a slam dunk or you cheering the crowd on or something, make them feel like they're part of this game and they want to come back to see you play.
Another thing I feel like we just don't see in the NBA is you dunking on Gatling and him dabbing you up and giving you, like, and just saying, like, respect, like, you got me.
It's deflected away, loose to the floor. McMillan scrapes it up, goes back, up he comes. Gatling swats it away. Kemp powers in with a jam. Gatling got a piece of it, comes up and says, wow, we did a job, didn't we? And they high-five each other. They really appreciate the talents. Kemp with 18 on the power jam.
Well, I'll tell you.
Right, because you don't see that play from other people, because they just don't put that much into it like that. When somebody respects you so much and they see how hard you're going, and they see how much pride you got and how much passion that you got, and they turn around and they shake your hand out there on that court after you just smashed on them. That's the greatest compliment that you could possibly have. That's why I said that dunk, actually, I don't really list it as my favorite, but in actuality, that's probably one of my favorites. That dunk is with the Gatling.
Yeah.
I call it the rattling Gatling.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, dude. Place was shaking.
So, yeah, I mean, that handshake is, that's what you play for. I mean, that right there, like, when I think about years back then when we were playing and stuff, that brings back great memories because here you are, man, you're in the heat of the battle and this guy shakes your hand, you shake his hand. That means that's just much respect.
Because I feel like the same way people I've heard will say they were fans of Jordan and sometimes they would stop mid-game and watch him do something.
Right.
And you hear that, you've heard that about Kobe, LeBron. 1,000% that was happening with you. So
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
for sure, Gatling was probably also like, God damn, I can step back and be like, the Rain Man just hammered on me.
He got me finally, yeah.
And that was dope, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. But I've seen it. You know, I've been down there quite a few times and seen some guys come in for some dunks, but I was pretty fast and pretty agile, was able to move my way out, especially out of the way of the camera just in time.
You don't want to be a
Thank
poster.
God I didn't want to get on that poster.
Spencer's gifts, yeah. Was there a player that you would find yourself stopping mid-game and being like, holy shit?
Yeah, all the time, Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah.
Man, Muggsy Bogues, it was amazing to me that a guy that was 5'3" could control the game of an NBA game with number 7-footers and 6'10" and 6'8" guys running around. This guy was 5'3".
It's crazy.
And he was just as strong as the rest of those guys on the court. I was just simply amazed by what Muggsy Bogues could do on the court, bro. Simply amazed.
Yeah. You said the Rattling Gatling was one of your favorites. Do you have, is there one that's just like?
Yeah, my favorite dunk is the one in my first dunk, which was the one in New York when we were playing in the Knicks. It was a double pump reverse dunk.
Dale Ellis and Shawn Kemp. Kemp picks Mark Jackson, gets the give and go.
Well, we'll watch it again. We told you some exciting things can happen. Boom, double clutch, take it back, throw it home. And Shawn, of course, has such a great...
That was the first first game that I actually really did a dunk in. But after I done that dunk in that game, I actually had 64 dunks in the next 3 weeks.
What?
So that one dunk kind of ignited a firecracker in order for me to keep doing it. Maybe because I did it in New York. And that when I finally did one in New York, everybody in New York, it kind of stunned everybody.
In the Garden too, which is arguably right, like the spot.
Yeah, I mean, that really got me going, man. I had like 64 dunks in the next 3 weeks.
God damn.
Yeah.
Do you remember guys in games ever saying to you like pregame, like maybe like, hey man, don't posterize me tonight? Or
every game, man, like you name it. It went around pretty well. Like all the 7-footers, they were all scared.
But you did it to all of them. I mean, the Mutombo one is.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, Mutombo was like my son at first, man. Even though they did beat us that series, but I got a lot of dunks on Mutombo. He's a great player too, man. You know what? If you block enough shots, you're gonna get dunked on. You know? Yeah. I mean, I got dunked on twice. You know, I think my whole career. Well, maybe 3 times if you count 4 or 5 with Shaq. Shaq got me quite a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I got dunked on. Robert Pat got me really good once, and Lonzo Mourning, I believe, dunked on me, got me once. So
we talked about the new arena coming up, and for Seattle, the Coliseum to me. You know, I went to so many Sonics games growing up at the Key and the Coliseum, and will be you know, in the future shortly coming. But the Coliseum to me seemed like as much fun for you guys to play in as it was to be a fan in, because it felt like almost like a black box theater for like for a small play. Like it was so intimate. Even in the rafters, man, like you said, you were playing for those guys up there.
Absolutely.
We'd be sitting up there. It just was the noise was compact.
Yeah,
Something about it being also walking through Seattle Center to get there. It felt kind of hidden in the back way. It felt underground, which I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Can you just talk about playing there in the 90s?
Oh man, I didn't want them to redo the Coliseum. I thought the Coliseum was perfect. I really did, and I enjoyed playing there because of the crowd. I mean. Yeah, it was a lot of concrete and a little cold up inside that building.
It was cold. Calabro told me that. He was like it was a barn.
But you know what? At the same time, man, we had a great time playing there. The fans were great. The noise inside there was tremendous. The way the setup was, first of all, and like I said, it was like beer night. You know, those nights where they had beer nights. Those guys motivated me, man. Seriously, they motivated me. Here you are, a young kid. You sitting on the end of that bench and you're dying to get in the game and do something. So then it came down to me like getting in the game, diving after loose balls, getting rebounds, making these exciting plays. the Coliseum is where it all went down.
Corner, Verts Williams, jump pass ahead of McMillan, down the near wing. He'll pull up with the ball, have it ahead. Rolls that leather in the palms, feeds over to Cage, covered by Ellis. Michael hands off to Payton, up fake, drives the slower Ellis into the lane. Turns the corner, stops. In midair, gives off to Kemp. He juggles it, got it, hooks it up, missed it. Rebound, Cage, battling with Ellis. Saved inbounds by Payton. Right to Kemp, beneath the lid, stutter step. In he comes, blocked, got it back, hooks it up, no. Rebound, Kendall up, no. Blocked by Williams, grabbed by Kemp. In the lane, following jumper, blocked by Williams. Outside of McMillan. Cross court to Gary for the three. Yes! Oh, that's the way you get it done.
I mean, I can't tell you this, man. The Coliseum went through a lot of changes. Like when I first came to Seattle, we played the Lakers. You know, I come out to the game and the whole Seattle Coliseum basically got on Magic Johnson jerseys. Yeah. 32. I mean, I thought we were playing in Seattle. It felt like we were playing down in we were playing in Inglewood or somewhere. And then it was just like, to me, seeing that, I was just telling myself, it was like, I was telling Gary, like, we have to change this around. We have to make it where anytime they come to this arena, they got on some green and gold. And we were able to do that, man. I think we went from second in the last for merchandise sales until first in merchandise sales. And that's really big, man. We've done that with
crazy.
Yeah, that's really big in professional sports. I mean, obviously that's billions of dollars, but not only that, that's just the popularity of what you have to become. To go from the second to the bottom to number one is incredible, because we were selling more merchandise than the Chicago Bulls were at one time.
For real?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did those playoff series, the Phoenix one obviously sticks out. The West was always stacked. I mean, it was like, well, you had Malone and Stockton, then Phoenix with their trio.
Yeah.
Barkley, Houston felt like always a problem.
Yeah.
Did you treat every opponent like, not the same, but what did Malone, Barkley, and Olajuwon bring that was one of those guys like less intimidating to play against? Was there a squad where you're like, all right, cool, we drew Houston first, this will be not as bad as Phoenix?
Well, with myself, I didn't really have a problem playing against Charles Barkley, because we kind of played the same position.
Yeah.
And Charles is a great player, and he does great for his team. But my advantage to him is I was so much bigger than he was.
Yeah.
I'm at 6'10", and Charles is about 6'4", 6'3".
Listed at 6'6", by the way.
He listed at 6'6", but he's really 6'3".
Yeah.
So I had no problems really playing against Charles Barkley. I had some fear playing against Karl Malone. Obviously, him and John Stockton, and me and Gary learned a lot. Me and Gary patterned our game after Stockton and Malone. We just put some ice on our game.
Yeah.
Rebound, Ostertag. Stockton back in for Utah. The long feed to Malone. Almost with her eyes closed. Almost with her.
Our games came because I could run and jump and dunk, but we kind of did the same things as Stockton Malone. All the intangible, the little things. And that's what it was all about. We stole a lot out their playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, we respected those guys enough to steal a lot from them. Stockton Malone was kicking our butts for a long time, man, and then we were every time they would kick our butt, we would just write down notes and stuff. And,
for real?
And this is how we're gonna come back and get them. And then finally we got to the point where we were
96.
beating them, and then that felt pretty good, because that's what you want to do, man. You want to learn about your business, but also then you want to be able to dominate your business. And it's like, man, here are these people I was looking up to 3 years ago, now I'm dominating. And it's kind of cool to go through that.
It's awesome to hear you guys say you would take notes like that after games, because that's in any job.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, even in comedy, it's why you record all your sets.
Absolutely.
Listen back to them. I mean, you know, acting jobs, you're making notes. I mean, so it's kind of a lost skill set that is to just not feel like, oh, I'll just play better, or I'll just think in your head like, oh, I'll shoot more shots pre-game and that'll do it, or I'll just try harder next game.
No, absolutely. And I think nowadays, it's funny that you say it, because nowadays I think a lot of people look at it that way, where they say, oh, I can just go practice hard. No. You actually have to go study this film.
Identify stuff.
Look at what some of these great people are doing, and then change your game up to do what they were doing, but even better.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's how it works.
2:11 left in the first half. It's Kemp in low. Spins by Buck. Reverse Hamilton. Shawn Kemp hits the back.
The dunk contest, the first one you went to was 91. And I heard you say that was intentional, because you were like trying to build your brand, right?
Absolutely.
Once you start to get some notoriety, you're like, how can I take this up a notch? And that was a way to get some like global respect, yeah?
Yeah, man, it really came from kind of like my mom, man. My mom was just like, look, in order for you to become popular, to become one of these top guys, you got to build your brand up. Like I said, I really wasn't a great slam dunker, but then I was just like, damn, man, I'm gonna take this opportunity to go down here and do the slam dunk contest. I'm gonna see what I can do.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of like trying to win the dunk contest, I'm gonna try to be the person who dunks it the hardest. I wanna do something different. So instead of trying to win the trophy, how about this? If I do the hardest dunks that they've ever seen, will everybody leave this building saying my name? And I was just, I don't know, I said, well, that's what I'm gonna stick with. And then I made a few of them, and I was like, oh shit, this is, now I'm in the business. So then I just went to really just trying to rip the rim off the goal, man. And that's what it's all about, like having fun with it, you know?
And Shawn Kemp, by the way, says he has some new stuff this year.
He's real loosey-goosey. You see him, he's real disjointed. This guy is going to go in all different directions before he dunks his basketball.
A powerful body. 6'10", 240.
Had a little trouble with the catch, but then a very powerful slam.
See, he's the favorite. So.
Magic, your opinion on that one. Magic Johnson.
Well, he got about 40 cheerleaders over here. All the NBA players are cheering for him over here by me. Like you said earlier, they like power, and he just gave him power, but also he jumped so high.
When I played 14 years, man, and never twisted an ankle. So, you know, absolutely, man.
I sprained 2 ankles at fucking 24 Hour Fitness 3 days ago.
I still haven't never twisted my ankle playing ball or anything. So,
good for you.
No, I felt pretty blessed to make it out through my whole career without any injuries. Absolutely. It's one of the reasons I wanted to stop playing when I was younger, because I was always afraid of getting hurt. It happens, and you know, I look at guys, even today, man, I look at guys like LeBron James, and I just marvel.
Jason Terry, good defense. Wade from behind takes it away. Chalmers, Paul, James! Whoa!
Now it looked like he jumped out of the mezzanine to dunk this ball. That's sending it down with some.
The game that when Kevin Durant got a preseason game to come back and play at Key Arena.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we talked about the Coliseum. Key Arena had its own great, I mean, I know we didn't want to see it refurbished and upgraded. Also became a great house to play in, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of great memories.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, man. Especially when they first did it. You know, I wasn't crazy about the maroon colors they added to the green.
Yeah.
I wasn't that crazy, but, you know, I think, you know, as far as the arena, when the Key Arena first got done, I think it was top shape, man, definitely. And I think this one is going to be great also.
The intros, the player intros to me, I've been to a lot of NBA games. I feel like it was the shit. And I was always curious, did you guys get as hyped up for those as we did? Because the whole like, dun, 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 and then the logo popping out of the Key Arena, squatch dropping.
Gentlemen, get on your feet for the 1996 Pacific Division champions, your Seattle SuperSonics. And today's starting lineup for your SuperSonics. From Oregon State, number 20, Gary Payton. A 6'3" guard from Bradley University, number 33, Hersey Hawkins. 6'11" center from New Orleans, number 50, Irvin Johnson. 6'10" forward from the University of Washington, number 11, Griffey Jr. College number 40, Shawn Kemp. And the head coach of your Seattle SuperSonics, George Karl.
The way it works is like this: when through your day when you go to the game and you're getting ready for the game and stuff, there's something that clicks when you're going through all of that. So when you get to the arena, man, you get your uniform on, it still hasn't clicked that you're gonna play yet.
Yeah.
You kind of wait, What usually clicks is when they do the intros, is usually when you start smelling like the popcorn smell in the arena. Because that's when the people are filling the arenas in. And then when you start smelling that popcorn and then the intros come, then that's when you get turnover, you get totally locked in, and that's when you know you're really about to get out there and get your ball on. The year that we made it, it was so good to play against the Bulls, but I actually think that we were better like 2 years prior to that.
Oh yeah.
Where we had a chance to really go even further. So I always tell people, it was the 2 years that Michael Jordan retired, didn't play, and that the Houston Rockets won.
Yeah.
We should have won a championship one of those 2 years.
1000%.
We really let ourselves down by not winning the championship one of those 2 years because we had the perfect chance and opportunity. But also it goes to show you the opportunities come and go so fast.
Yeah.
And you know, when he retired, man, it was just like open season for everybody.
Was there a collective like group text of the NBA being like, Mike's done, we got a fucking shot?
Well, Dad, a little bit, I think everybody felt like they kind of had a better shot. But I think with us, we thought we had even a better shot. We really thought that we were really good at that time, man. Like, we thought that our team was like superior to the rest of the league.
And the squad, the young squad had been together for at least 3-4 years, right?
Absolutely. So I just thought that we had everything it took to win a championship. Our only problem is that sometimes it's like anything you do in life. When you have a team, if you bring in 1 or 2 pieces from the outside, sometimes that team can disrupt your team from selfishness. We had a couple guys that we brought in that wasn't happy with their roles, and they were complaining. So those complaints those selfish thoughts kind of dictated our future a little bit. That's why we lost, because we had a lot of guys bickering at each other and stuff. So once we got that cleared up, then we were great when we went back in '96 and played.
Posting Kerr. Yes. The Sonics on a tear. The Bulls will talk it over.
Team sport is about winning, but mostly it's about chemistry.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have the right chemistry in order to be good.
Was it cool though to at least have those 2 games at home and be in the city? I'm sure that's just an experience you won't forget, right?
Oh man, without a doubt, like
driving around the Soups already, I feel like, have always been the sport in Seattle. Like even as big as the Hawks and M's have been, basketball I feel like rules up here.
Without a doubt, and the reason is because basketball did more in the community. And that's what a lot of times people don't understand. The Sonics were here for 41 years.
Yeah.
They were around Seattle for 41 years, but they did more in the community than the Seahawks and the Mariners did. So the Sonics were always, and that's kind of comes in play with myself.
Yeah.
By the Sonics doing more in the community around this way, it gave me the true education of doing more in the community, getting the experience of doing more in the state, and it really rubbed off on me. So then when we go into other teams, and I'm looking at other teams in other cities, it was not the same field. It wasn't the same field. So it's like, here you are, you've worked all these years to identify yourself in this community. It's like, look, it's not gonna be the same somewhere else. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Home is home.
Yeah.
So.
One thing I forgot to ask you was in the '91 dunk contest. It's one of my favorite songs ever. Black Box, Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the, tell me that song's significance in the contest.
I mean, we was just looking for something creative, man, something that had a little catch to it, man.
He's about 6 feet out of bounds. That ball bounced behind the backboard. He grabbed it and jammed it.
Dude, I am such a big 90s R&B, everything, but like.
That's what it's about. Like, man, you gotta have the right music, the right. Everything ties in.
I remember, I think it was even the shot. They cut to Will Smith right after it was like, wow, everybody, and like you started getting into it, and they cut to Will Smith, and he was like, and I was like, it's Will Smith approved.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
And that's, I mean, like once you go to dunk contest, you realize it's like, you got to entertain all these people. You got all these stars, and it's like, how do you get all these people on the same page as you?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be very, very fortunate to do that. And you see, like, a lot of times the guys get up there and they kind of just go and they come back. But in order for you to capture the whole crowd, it's tough, man. So you got everything that you do got to be on timing schedule. Your music, your gear, your shoes. It's just like you got to put a little time, a little effort into doing everything just right to make sure it comes out looking good.
You played in 6 All-Star games, which is fucking dope. Any favorite? I loved always seeing the little packages they would do where they would show you guys busting balls. I think there was a great one of you and GP busting Garnett's balls in the locker room, like maybe his first year.
Memphis Magic Johnson to make an All-Star team. Kevin Garnett.
He's 20 and he's going on 21. We're going to call him Sir Plastic Man. Slink. Ain't that right, Slink?
Yeah, I played in 6 All-Star games. I started 6 All-Star games.
That's what I'm saying, man.
So truly, I mean, me saying that truly lets you know, by you starting 6 All-Star games means that the fans put you there.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Because the people that love basketball consider you the best of the best.
The best of the best. So that's what makes those 6 All-Stars, when I say 6-time All-Star, I mean, that's like music to my ears, because it's like, you know, the fans put you there at 6 All-Star. You went to 6 All-Star games, started 6 All-Star games, 5 on the West, 1 on the East.
And there's so many dope players at that time, so to start all of them.
Yeah, to start all of them. And, I mean, you know who my backups was.
Yeah.
Guys like Barkley.
Yeah, D-Rob.
Dennis Rodman. Keem Olajuwon.
Robinson.
David Robinson. Those were all my backups for a lot.
Dude, that's crazy. Malone?
For Karl Malone, oh yeah.
Seattle SuperSonics, Shawn Kemp. Here's Jason Kidd, who comes off a sensational 25-assist game the other night, and Shawn Kemp saw the West with a 2-0 lead. Drexler setting up against Jordan. Elijah Watt.
And I think the game that's the hardest is Shawn Kemp gets that in.
Drexler. Shaquille O'Neal, who on the pregame portion of our program said that he would attempt 5 3-point shots. And he had an ocean right downstairs.
I think that's going to be the choice of the day is the lane.
And would you and Gary try to go out of your way to put on an extra show there too? Was that like, or you just kind of?
Yeah, but they, this is what the problem was, man. When we get to the All-Star game, the other guys wanted to play with me. They wanted to become Gary Payton a little bit.
Oh, shit.
So they would split the time up a little bit. They tried to play Gary with the second unit, put me with the first unit, and try to split us up a little bit. Gary didn't really like that.
Fuck that. Oh, yeah,
But they wanted a chance to throw the lob for one time because we were on the same team.
Guys like, I'm trying to think like, not Stockton probably.
Oh,
Which
yeah, Stockton, Magic. All of them were trying, especially, when I played on the Western Con, they all wanted to. Kevin Johnson.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Stockton just seems so by the book that I can't imagine him being like, Rain Man, woo-hoo!
He's like, hey, man, John Stockton is a great dude. And I'm going to tell you guys this, man. He's a very strong individual, man. He's, I say he's a great player, but also he's one of the toughest players I've ever played against.
For real?
Absolutely. And without a doubt, he's...
Because he was also like...
He's well-mannered. He's well-mannered. He's like 6'3", 6'4".
Knows how to use his body, huh?
But, man, he's strong as can be, and he knows exactly where to pop you at if he needs to pop you.
Oh, really?
He's got a lot of country boy in him, man. He's a tough guy.
The kamikazes?
Yeah.
Skipped over that, but, dude, had 2 pairs of those. Wish I still had them.
What size you wear?
13.
13?
I thought you were about to pull a box out from behind the chair.
I got 10 and 12 in the car. I could probably get 13 from that.
Dude, I will slip into a 12 as long. Getting your own shoe also, I feel like, has to be a milestone where you're like, getting a nickname like the Rain Man and having posters and branding is, I mean, it's, obviously a big deal. Getting your own shoe, a few people have that.
No, obviously, yeah. I mean, like I said, I came in wearing Nikes, and Michael Jordan had something in his contract where someone could make more money than he could. And then Charles Barkley actually had something in his contract that him and Michael Jordan was the 1-2 highest paid in Nike. Therefore, so when my contract ended up with Nike and it was time for me to get a new one, I went to Reebok because it only made sense. I didn't want to be in competition with Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to fight that battle.
Yeah.
So it was best for me to go to somewhere like Reebok and develop my own.
Oh, you took them up a notch.
Yeah,
dude.
definitely. Just develop your own way, man. Your own way of doing it. You know, I think that's what you learn throughout the years. Sonny Vaccaro taught me these things, man. To brand myself, to be strong. One of these days, like I saw him developing that Michael Jordan shoe when I was in 7th grade in the back seat of the car. Those were the ideas that I had in my head. One of these
motivators too, right?
Motivators, man. I want my own signature shoe. You know, how can we do this? I want to go with the brand that's going to be able to push my own Shawn Kemp shoe out there.
Yeah, man, I want my own cereal. I want my, like,
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, Ray Flakes or fucking, you know,
what's Ray Flakes?
Adam Chips or something, you know. Even like with my fans, I call them the rabies or something.
Yeah,
But,
no, I mean, it's all doable, man. Once you get that fan base and you start to let people know, man, everything is really doable, man.
Yeah.
I've seen it, you know, from my buddies with Pearl Jam. I mean,
in the heyday of the era, too, of the 90s in Seattle, I think I saw that with you and Gary on the NBA TV chat. I didn't realize, you know it as a fan, because you assume all you guys know each other. Like, I'm sure Griffey, you guys were all...
Oh, yeah, like, man, this was like a competition. Gary wasn't here yet, but my first year when I got here, you know, I would go to Griffey game. Baseball starts generally early. And then go to my game, then Griffey would come over and watch some of my games. So I could watch the first 4 innings of his game at the Kingdom, then he could come over and watch the last quarter of my game. So that's kind of how it was.
Come on.
I mean, you can't beat that. And then you got like Pearl Jam, you got Nirvana, you got a Sir Mix-a-Lot. There was so many people at that time. It was like just a function of just coming through. It was great times around here. Man.
Were these guys because I was always curious what the Seattle equivalent was to like LA, where you had Jack, you know, Sandler, you know, just celebrities sitting courtside. What was the Seattle version of that while you were playing there?
Oh, no doubt, seeing like Mr. Bill Gates sitting there, Paul Allen. I mean, you're seeing a lot of billionaire guys before they become billionaire guys sitting around here, also being a part of the team and doing certain things for the team and stuff. And it was really fun. You know, Mr. Gates was, you know, serving stuff. He gave me my first laptop, actually. So I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen with this team. I mean, there's been players that's been calling that wants to take involvement with this team coming here. There's guys of like Dwayne Wade. Yeah, guys like LeBron. These are guys that
grew up having the Sonics be a part of their life.
Part of their life, and they still may want to come up here and have some type of deal with ownership or something one of these days. Wow. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen for the city in the future, but I think things are on the up.
Would you want to coach?
No.
You've been asked that, the way you just said that.
No, I only support the guys. This generation of players would be tough to coach. Be tough for me to coach. I got too much old school in me, so it'd be best if I motivate on the side.
Be a presence around, right?
Absolutely, definitely. If the team comes back, I'll have some involvement with the team. Of
course.
If anything, I'd like to help these guys save their money. It'll be one of the things I've talked to them about. You know, I'd be more interested in that than anything, making sure these guys take care of themselves years down the road instead of being in a bad position.
Do you and Gary talk about, fantasize, look forward to that day when
Absolutely.
the team gets back, jersey retirement?
Yeah.
I mean, not only just going to the games on a regular basis and getting to experience what you guys deserve, which is what you see around other arenas, what Kobe was doing when he go to Laker games, and they put him on the thing. He loves it, but you just get that constant appreciation, which I
No,
think.
no, absolutely. We've been wanting that to happen for quite some time. Now, Gary, in other hands, we just talked about this a few days ago. He actually does want to still coach a little bit.
Oh, wow.
He still wants to coach a little bit, but for me, myself personally, I would like to stay away from the coaching and deal more with the community and helping these guys save their money.
Well, Gary was coaching the big three, so I think
he wants to be the coach, but for myself, it's just about maintaining these guys' careers and making sure they save their money, man. I get upset when I see about them losing their money still, so that bothers me.
Did you know KD was going to wear your jersey at that preseason game?
I didn't know that, but I'm ecstatic that he did. And the truth, this is the truth of it, man. I've been wanting to do something special for him for doing it that night. So I believe this year, when the playoff goes on, I'm gonna go. I'll be in Brooklyn wearing his jersey, no doubt.
Oh shit, dude.
I went to the game. I went to the games when he was playing with Golden State. I didn't feel like that was his home. I always felt that like that was just going to be a pit stop for KD.
Oh, yeah.
So I've always been waiting for him to have a true home. And now that he has a true home, I'm looking forward to it. So during the playoffs this year, you'll see me in Brooklyn with the KD jersey on the sideline, repaying him back for what he did a couple years ago. Because I think in sports, man, it's important that you appreciate guys who step up and do those certain things.
Oh, yeah.
For you.
And you can tell he loves Seattle, too. I mean, I've even heard him joke about finishing here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully Brooklyn is even a pit stop.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we could get a team back here and maybe get him in for the last few years, that'd be awesome. And it'd be a great attraction for the other players to come too, man.
Jamal Crawford, I heard him say that he would come out of retirement just to come play a couple games.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
No, I live right down the street from Jamal now, and I talk to him all the time.
dope.
And he's still in the gym working out, man. He still wants to play.
Jesus. Him and Nate Robb, huh? Did you watch that Nate Robb fight?
I did. I watched it, man. I felt bad for Nate, but you got to pick your poison, man. And boxing's not one that you really want to play with.
Wow, nothing funny about what's happening with Nate Robinson, but Snoop Dogg is singing the hymns. He's trying to get
Golf, nobody would have said anything.
Yeah.
Tennis, who cares?
Yeah.
Swimming, get over it. But boxing, I mean, it's a different business, man. And Nate's a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he does a lot of good stuff around here with kids and stuff with the Flag Football League and stuff. He's a great guy. I hate to see that happen to him. But anytime that you get into that boxing ring, you really got to be prepared.
He took it in stride.
He did.
I was kind of hoping it would inspire NBA players like Steve Scheffler to come out of the woodwork and be like, hey.
Pre-game meal, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, post-game meal, prime rib.
Fuck. At any spot around town?
No, prime rib usually come from Metropolitan.
Fuck yeah. The grill, right?
No doubt about it.
Wow.
Metropolitan Grill.
Yeah, they're money all the time.
They make my prime ribs. They have for the whole time I've been around here.
Just the exact order? They just give up the Rain Man special?
They know it's coming.
Fuck. Player you were most fired up to battle?
Akeem Olajuwon. Because I was scared of him. So I always got the best of him because I was pumped to play against him. And I ended up getting the best of him most of those times.
Oh, yeah.
But Junior, I can tell you now, I was scared of his ass too.
The Dream Shake, that was a real thing.
It was real. Man,
fucking cold shiver.
It was real.
Favorite poster of you? I'll say what mine is. It's the one you got upstairs with the umbrella.
The umbrella? That is a cool picture. That is a cool picture.
Also, you just got such a great smile. It's like
but the best one.
Right behind me?
Is the one with the Band-Aid. There's one with the Band-Aid. And I'm coming through, I think I'm dunking on Robert Horry. And it just signifies what I had to go through, man. Just, that's what you had to go through. To do all those dunks, you got to get beat up a little bit.
I love that. Favorite dunk we talked about?
The first dunk in New York, the double pump backwards reverse dunk.
Also, just the angles of that. I don't even know how you get the ball in that spot and think to do that. It was like one dribble and then, no, you didn't even dribble, did you? Just catch
I didn't dribble, I just caught it and jumped. So,
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, that's like one of those dunks when I look back, I say, damn.
What was I thinking?
What was that? Yeah. I'm glad I made it,
with dunks like that, are you even thinking, or is it just it's just reaction?
Just reaction.
Yeah.
It's a complete reaction.
Favorite TV show currently?
Favorite TV, Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah, killer. One of my buddies is on that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're telling me does a
yeah,
good
it's
job.
killer, man. Oh, this is a good one. Favorite thing to do when high?
Favorite thing to do when high? Talk shit.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, some people get the
homies.
munchies. I like to talk a lot of shit.
Do you have any good, like through text, live, like what?
No, I mean, just with my buddies and stuff, we just rad each other all the time on sports games.
Yeah, you like to kick it.
Yeah, we like to kick it, talk shit to each other, just tease each other, just everything, man. That's what it's all about.
Active stoners are way better. Like there's
Absolutely.
times, look, there's times when you just want to get glued to the couch.
Yeah.
Fucking bury your face in a pie.
Yeah.
And just, you know, fall asleep exactly the way you're sitting.
That's when you smoke that indica. That's the indica couch.
I'm sure you got some good stuff up here we can get set up with. Yeah, that's my favorite too. I always, from the moment I started smoking, I was like, I want to kick it. You know, I never want to get too high to where I can't look somebody in the eye and talk and know what just came out of my mouth. You know.
That too, man. That's why you want to be functional.
Yeah.
You know, like I consider myself lucky. I mean, I've only been high once or twice where I didn't feel like I should talk.
Yeah.
You know, the one.
What if you were like, it was game 4 of the 1992 playoffs?
No, it wasn't game 4.
No,
it was actually the dab roast. So I did a dab roast, man.
Yeah,
I did the dab roast like a couple months ago. And then I was just like, don't even talk. Like, I was just like, whatever you do, just smile, don't talk, because
I've totally been
I don't think anything's gonna come out correct.
Oh, I've been there, dude. Dude, I ran into Larry King while I was baked at the movie theater once. It was like the first celebrity I met in LA. And I went up to him, because in my head I was like, you got to say something to him.
Right,
Like, no,
you gotta
don't.
say hi to him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't have to do anything. Walk the other way is what you should do. But he's with his nephew, and I walk up and I go, hey Larry, I go, big fan, man. And my eyes are just cash. So like, I'm probably not even looking at him. I'm just like, hey man, you're the fucking man, dude. And he was just like, hey. And I go, hey, I go, so what are you guys doing? Getting some snacks? Fucking just lingering. He's at the snack machine, by the way. He's clearly getting snacks.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, I'm with my nephew, do you mind? And I go, not at all. I just got interviewed by Larry King. And then he goes, huh? And my buddy was like, dude, get the fuck away from that guy, man. So there's times to when you should, you know, be that high and be home. But, all right. The best piece of advice you've received?
Oh man, you never stop learning. And once you know that you never stop learning, man, you're good. You at least in your mind, you're always open to ideas and situations.
Love that. Favorite part about being a dad?
Favorite part about being a dad, man, just the comfort, man, from your kids, man. Like with me, my kids kind of change everything. The responsibility of being a father changes you as an individual. So you could be going through some things as an individual, but the responsibility as you being a father kind of overweights everything. Nothing was more important than my kids. So that's what always made me stay on top, is because none of the other stuff really mattered. Just being a father mattered.
I love that. Are they pumped about this new venture, the store and everything?
Yeah, I've been telling them for a few years that I was interested, and then now they're like, oh, it's real, Dad. You're like on the side of the building.
Yeah.
You're selling weed. So,
yeah, living the dream.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, my kids they're older. So, I mean, I feel great about the business, man, simply because my kids are older, they're out of school, they're out of college. So I think I have the time now to concentrate and work with a team of people.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to work with a good team of people also. That means everything.
Yeah, last two questions I want to talk about the store. Best shit talking you ever heard about, best shit talking you ever heard from Gary?
Best shit talking I heard from Gary
Whether it was on the court or off the court.
Oh, no doubt it be off the court, and it had to be Gary. He talked a lot of shit, but it had to be Gary and Michael Jordan, man. Gary told Michael Jordan that Gary said he drove a Ferrari, just like Michael did. And then Michael told all of us that he drives Ferraris for free.
Got him. Got him. That's amazing. In-N-Out or Dick's? And for those of you who aren't familiar, In-N-Out, obviously big fast food joint in LA. Dick's, you can't go wrong.
Come on, man, you can't go wrong with Dick's fries. You know, Dick's fries, a double cheeseburger, and a chocolate shake. Come on, man.
I just got high listening to you say that.
It's like, come on.
Do you see me? I was like, keep going.
That's Broadway munchie food all night long. You can't go wrong with that. You cannot beat that,
Dude,
man.
we used to get it. My buddy's brother worked there, and we'd walk up, and he'd just go, say no more. And he'd give us 2 bags, and we'd slip it into the Key Arena.
There you go.
It's the best. Mike or LeBron?
I'll answer
Different
this
eras.
question.
I mean, I'm
going to say this, man. Michael Jordan is the man. He's the #1 basketball player. Always will be remembered as #1. But LeBron James is the greatest. Michael Jordan is the #1 basketball player, but LeBron James has the best career of anybody in the history of basketball. He has the best career. And what I mean by that is this. Jordan went 6-0 in the championship. That will never be outdone because most people are going to lose at least one.
Yeah.
He went 6-0. LeBron's been to like 12 or 13 championships now. He has the best career of anybody that's ever played in the NBA because he's played for so long and he's been able to stay healthy. And he was labeled the king, so he's pretty much had things go his way since he's been able to come into the NBA. So I think he's had the best career of anybody. But absolutely, I think Mike, you can never go wrong with saying Michael Jordan because he was 6-0 in the championship.
Yeah. Globalize the game, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so this has been unbelievable, by the way.
Right.
I can't thank you enough for making time, man. The fact that we're doing it in Shawn Kemp's Cannabis, the basement of the store. I know we talked a little bit about you getting involved in the community, and this having a lot to do with that, of you wanting to give back, but also remain connected, right? Because I know Seattle, just a big part of your life, and still living here. What do people need to know about the store that they might not from just, because obviously gotten a lot of hype and press, and people are like, you know, now that it's getting legalized in more places, and Seattle was one of the first. I'll say this just from being here, I know you guys tout this as a thing, but the prices are fucking crazy good, and I've been to probably too many shops, my mom would say when I come home. But you have everything.
Right.
The store is aesthetically incredible. You've got NBA Jam machines. So just tell me about your connection to this store and what you love about it.
Well, first of all, it's myself, but also working with some great people around here. But I think in our ideas and what we tried to capture is just to create a great project, which is selling cannabis, but also be very, very active and sociable and nice to people in the community. So I think what sets us apart, first of all, is when you come inside. If you go to any of these cannabis stores, it's tough to get time from people. Generally, a lot of times they're very busy. It's very hard for these people to really work with you, talk to you. But the thing I'm proud of is when you come in here, we actually have some very nice people to work for us. They're all over it when you come in, trying to help you out with different items, regardless if you want to smoke cannabis, regardless if you want CBD products, regardless if you want edibles, whatever you want, they're going to help you out with. And I think that's most important. So I just think we're very, very friendly. Kind of similar to when you go into an Apple store.
Yeah.
And
I felt that right out of the gate.
Yeah,
you have people at the front just like, welcome, you guys ready to get fucked up? They didn't say that, but
that comes from the people that I work with. They've done a really good job with exploring those opportunities for people and just letting them be nice and be themselves, making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So that's the most important part, I think, of this store. The second part is absolutely the prices, man. Being that we can buy stuff in bulk and get the prices down.
Yeah.
I think that helps everybody out.
It's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's just major. It's major. And
did you notice that as just a consumer yourself, or was that something that when you guys, opened, that you were like, we want to make sure that we are, at the top?
Well, that's when we were developing this store. That's something that we talked about. But the people when I got involved with this store, some of my coworkers and owners, they also own their own store, like in Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
Therefore, that was when I went and visit their store. That was one of their strengths.
Gotcha.
Was being very personable, very nice, and keeping the prices down. So obviously, when we started talking about this store, that was like, yo, of course we want to adapt those good things about their store into this store.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just about surrounding yourself with the right people, coming up with the right concept, and doing the right thing. And I think we're all on the same page. And I was very fortunate to work with some great people that I'm working with, but also for us to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And I think that's made it so much better for myself.
There's probably a lot of people that are going to want to come just because it's fucking Kemp's Cannabis, which is awesome.
Which is awesome. But eventually what you'll probably see me get involved with is definitely some of those lotions, creams, stuff to try to get non-smoking people in here. I mean, I think that's important.
By the way, why hasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar come out with Kareem's Cream? That is a missed opportunity. Where's my Kareem cam? Hey, Kareem, you fucking, come on, dude. The product writes itself.
My Kareem's Cream, well, that's a great idea. Hey,
you got his number? I got his Facebook page.
I'm trying to get Sam Perkins to come down here.
Come on.
And profit off some of this Big Smooth we selling, man.
You're selling Big Smooth?
We got some Big Smooth upstairs.
That was the other thing I wanted to ask you. I know you got gummies, tinctures,
yeah, gummies,
pre-rolls.
tinctures, yeah.
I'm a big blunt guy,
yeah,
obviously, but
you
I mean,
you like blunts?
Yeah, man.
We got plenty of. We got some good
joints,
ones up there.
blunts. Here's the thing, man. I know edibles are great, you know, and I'm on 50 right now, but. No, I'm joking. I just want to see you. Right? I'm keeping it together. I'm sweating from the knees down. No, you know, I know that it's better sometimes for your pipes if you're, but I don't know, man. A good joint, a good blunt, I love it.
Yeah,
Still enjoy
absolutely.
a good bubbler and bong, which I know you sell those too.
Oh yeah, man. Zeus, you got upstairs. You got these things called Zeus blunts, man.
What?
There's 3 pre-rolled blunts coming in this package. You gotta try them out. You'll love it.
Yeah, I'm getting married next April. My fiance doesn't know. Probably gonna spend most of the budget here today. But you know, you gotta spend money to make money.
You gotta do it. It'll be worth it.
Okay, good. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're on top of you just still being so involved in Seattle.
Right.
And giving back and being so. I was telling my stepdad on the way down here. And he was, because he watched the chat with you and Gary on MADtv, and he's like, man, he seems so cool, and he's like articulate and like put together. I'm like, yeah, man, he's fucking, it's why you can't open a business like this and not have your shit together. But it is impressive, man, that even when I met you at Rappaport's show, that you're, like, you know, you put people up like, you know, a hero of mine up on a pedestal, and then in moments in meeting you, and you know, you just were so kind and generous that what if I just start crying right now? But like who you are was still there, but you were just a person because you treat me like a person. And then we started bullshitting, shooting the shit. I think you even busted my balls about my shirt, which fucking still stings. No, but we just, you know, had a good rapport right away.
Right.
And I was like, that's dope, because they say sometimes, you know, you don't want to meet your heroes because there's
absolutely.
And I'm sure everyone probably has a story like that, you know. And so I just want to applaud you, man, for being just, you know, keeping it real and being down to earth. And
no, thank you so much. Now it's funny, when I got the phone call a couple weeks ago, my coworker Trent, when he delivered a message to me, I automatically knew who it was.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, so. So absolutely.
Thank God.
So it's like,
we get that on tape?
I automatically knew who it was. So definitely.
Appreciate
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you reaching back out, and hopefully we continue the friendship, man.
I mean, I think so, man. And as we
so am I invited to the wedding? What's up?
1,000%. Yeah, are you fucking kidding me? Guess what? My best friend, who was gonna be my best man, just got the boot, dude. He's gonna be like, hey, what happened? Sorry, man, the Rain Man wants your spot.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, this has been incredible. We'll go upstairs, let's go walk around the store, and yeah, thanks again, bud.
there goes the wedding band, bud. I'll just sing in the background. She's like, what happened to the band? Oh, I'm gonna do it a cappella.
SuperSonics, our basketball bionic, and Gary Payton was on. Bounce pass off court to Shawn, and the crowd sang along. SuperSonics, oh yeah. SuperSonics, not just a regular team.
Deep three, over to Shrimp. In the corner, Gary wide open. He delivers. Yes! Gary Payton hits the three. Ay, caramba!
15 seconds to play. Deadlift with the baseline J. Up court, fast break invaders. The slam dunk terminators. Fans can rattle the roof. Nothing but net, big smooth. 5 guys in a groove. SuperSonics, oh yeah. SuperSonics, not just a regular team.
Get up, Rain Man, and make him good. Golly, is that kid strong? Oh, it's getting weird in here. Oh, Alibaba. Nobody do the voodoo like you do.
SuperSonics, oh yeah. 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 SuperSonics, oh yeah.
Not just a regular team, your Seattle SuperSonics.